What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, the Icy Retros, back at it again with another one for y'all. And today we're going to uncover what's wrong with Russell Wilson. Why isn't he the same player for the Denver Broncos that he was as a Seattle Seahawk? And we're also going to uncover schematic schemes that are hurting his development in this new system. And also what Nathaniel Hackett should do moving forward to help improve this Denver Broncos team. Now, when the name Nathaniel Hackett pops up in NFL discussions, circles, or what have you, it's usually not a positive thing. Nathaniel Hackett has been on the hot seat ever since his first game with the Broncos, and I do not see it getting better. All the major media outlets prior to this season were listing the Denver Broncos as possibly a Super Bowl contender, but currently they sit at 2-4, just having dropped their fourth game, third in primetime against the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, I get it. Things take time. You have to build chemistry. He has an all-new supporting cast. Receivers, running backs, offensive line. You got a lot to work with. The problem is the expectations are high, and I'm not sure they can meet them before jobs are lost. Not to mention, the Broncos are playing without their star running back, Javonte Williams, and they just lost left tackle Garrett Bowles to season-ending injury. So we have to take that into account as well. Now, can we put all of this on Wilson? Not necessarily. There's a lot more drops. Broncos receivers are dropping the ball a lot more than his receivers in Seattle did last year. But also, Russell Wilson isn't pushing the ball down the field as much as he did last year as well. Now, in my opinion, from what I've seen, Russell Wilson isn't going through his progressions, which affects his decision-making. He's not pushing the ball down the field like he needs to. He's overthinking things. He's also not seeing the field well. Now, currently, Russell Wilson is dealing with a hamstring injury, but there has also been reported that he had a plasma injection earlier this month. Now, I'm not saying this is an excuse for his bad play, but we do have to factor in how much of his play is due to injury and how much is just bad decision-making. Now, let's dive into the logistics of it. Nathaniel Hackett has been a very public advocate of the West Coast offense, which stretches the field more horizontally than it does vertically. And one of the struggles that Russell Wilson has had throughout his career is throwing the ball in the middle of the field. Now, you can't talk about the West Coast offense without mentioning its infamous creator, Bill Walsh. Bill Walsh implemented the system amongst those very successful late 80s and early 90s San Francisco 49ers team led by Joe Montana. However, even Bill Walsh has gone on to say that it took a season or two to implement the West Coast offense and about 2 or 3 seasons to fully maximize it. Now, there might be many reasons why Russell Wilson doesn't throw in the middle of the field. The first being that he may not be able to see over his linemen. Russell Wilson is 5'11". He's one of the shortest quarterbacks in the NFL. So that may be a factor in that. But also, I don't think he's ever favored the middle of the field. Even dating back to Seattle, I don't remember a lot of passes going in the middle of the field. Russell Wilson tends to throw a nice deep ball, but you rarely see him pick up yards in the middle of the field. And so a lot of yards are left out there, and I don't think that helps this offense succeed because you're leaving a lot of yards out there, and you can't pick up chunk plays unless you're throwing a deep ball. So that leaves the offense in a very stagnant position. The term "let Russ cook" has been a very controversial one, but really the only time he is cooking is when he's allowed to roll out in a play-action setting and throw the deep ball. But if he can't do that, then Russell Wilson can't cook, and the offense is stagnant. So what do defenses do to stop Russell Wilson? They play a zone. They play a zone where basically he is forced to throw the ball deep because they know he's not going to do any crossing routes or slants in the middle of the field. They're only looking for the deep ball. And even when Russell Wilson throws in the middle of the field, you can tell he's uncomfortable in the pocket. He can't run anymore, or he's not running anymore as a quarterback. So defenses just anticipate that, and it's either a pass breakup or an interception. On the season, he only has 5 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. So what do you know? Here, against the San Francisco 49ers, who are playing a Tampa 2 zone, Russell Wilson doesn't even attempt to look in the middle of the field. Montrell Washington, number 12 for the Broncos, runs an intermediate slant over the middle where he is open right in the hole of the defense. However, Russell Wilson immediately opts to throw to his check down. I don't know, something tells me that Pete Carroll hid Russell Wilson's shortcomings by having a solid run game to complement him. When the defenses played the run, it allowed Wilson to have play-action plays and roll out to throw to open receivers down the field. Now, Denver has had a very short leash with its head coaches in recent years, and with that being considered, Hackett's time to turn this around is running out. Now, as a football fan, you kind of want to give Nathaniel Hackett the benefit of a doubt. You want to say, yeah, it's only been 6 weeks. Maybe he can turn it around. But at this point, the new owners of the Denver Broncos, how much patience do they have with this coaching staff? You know, they didn't bring them in. They were already there when they inherited and bought the team. How much patience do they have with Hackett? Do they need to bring any consultants or assistants in that can help him with his in-game management? Does the general manager stay after this? Because, I mean, George Patton is the one that gave Russell Wilson $245 million. And if it doesn't work out, I think Hackett is axed first. But then the question becomes, do we stick with Wilson or do we just tear it all down and rebuild it? You're 2-4. You're only 6 weeks into the season. Obviously, that's a little extreme, but you do have to have that in the back of your mind just in case this whole thing blows up. With that being said, it's understandable why Russell Wilson is struggling. He has to adapt to a whole new system and a scheme. However, Nathaniel Hackett needs to adapt to Russell Wilson as well and put in some plays that he's familiar with. It doesn't have to be the same exact offense that he ran with Pete Carroll, but some plays that are similar that can benefit on his strengths. What do you think about this Denver Broncos team? Do you believe that Nathaniel Hackett and Russell Wilson can turn this around and right the ship? Or do you believe this is the beginning of the end? Let me know in the comment section down below. And of course, thank you for watching this video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Share with your friends. And we out, man.